What's going on, y'all? Conscious one come at you. Let's just go ahead and get to it, guys. Stolen Inheritance, Part 2. Let's just get to it.
From the inside out. You don't need revenge. You don't need to expose them. Time, alignment, and energy will handle everything. Because stolen blessings don't sustain, they decay. And as long as they hold on to what was meant for you, they're spiritually off-center, misaligned. And misalignment always has consequences. What was meant to build you will break them, not because you wished it, but because energy returns home. Period. You were built for that blessing. It was shaped to fit your soul, your story, your scars. They grabbed it thinking it was just a symbol of success. But it was a responsibility, a weight, a frequency, and they were never calibrated to carry it. So now it's cracking in their grip. It's not punishment, it's law. So don't chase what was taken. Don't beg to get it back. If they're holding it, they're already feeling the cost. Let it rot. Because what's truly yours, it can't be stolen, only delayed. And when it returns, it will come with power, clarity, and proof. Not just that you survived the theft, but that you were always the rightful owner. Number 9, they took your harvest without sowing the pain. They wanted your outcome, but not your process. They watched you build, endure, sacrifice, and suffer. And instead of honoring the path, they tried to shortcut it. They stepped in at the finish line, skipped the miles you crawled through, and tried to claim a reward they never earned. They wanted the crown, but avoided the crucifixion. They bypassed the labor, but demanded the fruit. But here's the truth they forgot. Harvest without process doesn't bless. It burdens. You sowed in heartbreak. You prayed through betrayal. You kept going when it would have been easier to quit. Your harvest was soaked in loss, discipline, and surrender. It was forged, not handed out, not manufactured. That's why it's sacred. That's why it was yours. And when they reached for it without paying the cost, it didn't bless them. It cursed.
For the Johnny come latelys, we're talking about my family, my so-called family that did this to me over the stolen inheritance. I'll tell you guys a quick story before I push play again. I remember when I was living in Las Vegas, it was this guy that I had knew. He was an older gentleman who was going through something with his family at that time about inheritance. And I remember talking to this guy, and as he was, he was older than me. He had to be like at least 15 years older than me, 20 years older, something like that. But when he was telling me about the situation and how nasty it was, remember at this time, I was still oblivious. But I just remember talking to this guy on a job in Vegas, and he was telling me about the situation. I just remember just sitting there listening like, damn, I hope nothing like that ever happens to me. And here I am. So obviously this must be something that happens on a regular in a judicial system. I mean, they should be pretty much ready for stuff like this. But, you have to put the cheese out to catch the rats, right? And I guess inheritance is a way to do that. Because when somebody does something illegally in the system, it kind of opens up a can of worms to everything else that's going on illegally. So now, it's like you put out the cheese and all the rats are caught, in the mousetrap. But let's move on. I ain't going to be long with this, y'all. Y'all know this shit make me sleepy.
Not because it's cursed in itself, but because it wasn't aligned. You bled for something they faked their way into, and now it's crumbling in their hands. That's how divine law works. Because when you take what wasn't born through your process, you become accountable for something your soul isn't equipped to handle. The weight turns on you. What should have elevated begins to crush. What looked like success becomes a silent storm.
Man.
And it never shows up loudly. It unravels them slowly. Through burnout, through confusion, through the silent pressure of carrying something that wasn't molded to their shape. They skipped the storm you bled through, and now they're drowning in a victory they never trained for. Meanwhile, you're still standing. Not bitter, not broken, built. You didn't just lose something, you outlived the theft. And the longer you walk forward, the more obvious it becomes they weren't stealing a blessing. They were signing up for spiritual weight they can't carry. That's why things around them feel off. That's why doors are closing, why peace is fading. Because your harvest came with warfare, and they inherited the consequences without
Peace. People are always talking about peace that took your peace.
the character to sustain it. Let them hold what they took. Let it rot in their hands. Because what they mistook for free gain was always a setup. Not for you to rise, for them to fall. Because blessings taken without blood always betray the thief, every time. Number 10. They mocked your struggle, now they're haunted by your echo. They watched you fall and laughed like it was the end.
And see, this can't be about money, because in these type of situations, specifically this one, it was so much to go around. It's like, well, this has to be deeper than money. It's not. This is deeper than money. I mean, we're talking about pure hatred. What exactly do they hate so much? This is leaked into the spirit realm. What exactly is they hating? Is it me? Is it themselves? Who are they actually hating on? How can this be about money when there's plenty to go around? There's enough for everybody to eat, but all this backstabbing going on, for nothing, for absolutely nothing. But it's got to be for something.
Mocked your silence, your isolation, your pain, as if your struggle was entertainment. They celebrated.
I don't see people the same after this, guys. That's all I can say. I don't see people the same after this.
Your collapse, thinking it confirmed their superiority. But what they didn't know is that what looked like defeat was actually alignment. You weren't being buried. You were being stripped, refined, reset. And now, the very name they tried to bury is haunting the spaces they thought they had secured for themselves. Because energy never lies. And destiny has a sound. It echoes, not just in physical places, but in the spirit, in the subconscious, in the timing of life itself. So now, even though they moved on, they can't stop hearing you, feeling your presence in conversations, seeing reminders of you in the very things they try to build without you. They're being uninvited from tables they schemed their way into, losing relevance in spaces where your name still holds weight, even in absence. That's not coincidence, that's consequence. They thought they deleted you. All they did was amplify your echo. And that echo, it doesn't whisper. It reminds. It shows up when they least expect it, through a project that fails, a partnership that crumbles, a dream that won't land. It's not that you're cursing them, it's that the universe keeps circling back to what was meant. Your purpose still has gravity, and everything they built on top of your ruins is starting to collapse under its pull.
Trying to get some more light in this
Because
motherfucker.
when you mock someone in the middle of their breaking, you invite judgment, not from them, but from the order that governs purpose. They're haunted, not by guilt, but by recognition. Somewhere deep down, they know. They know the energy shifted, that they're holding what never belonged to them. That your silence wasn't weakness, it was grace. And now the echo of your rise is louder than any lie they told. You never had to fight them. The truth is doing that for you. And while they scramble to maintain what was built on betrayal, your name is gaining momentum. Because real purpose doesn't die, it waits. And when it returns, it doesn't knock. It echoes through every room where you were once underestimated, until the only thing louder than their pride is your presence. Number 11. They inherited your reward, but not your favor. They stepped into your place like it was theirs, took the recognition, the opportunity, the applause that was prepared for you. For a moment, it looked like they won. They inherited your reward, but they didn't carry the favor. That's the difference. Favor isn't about being chosen by people. It's about being chosen by purpose. And when someone tries to sit in a seat that was carved for someone else, the whole atmosphere feels it. The room resists. The energy shifts. The blessings misfire. Because the kingdom always knows the original owner. They copied your moves, mimicked your spirit, slid into spaces where your name was once disrespected, and they thought that was success. But what they never had was your covenant. The divine alignment that made doors open without force, that made people gravitate to your presence without needing to impress, that unexplainable grace that covered you in rooms where others had to perform. That's not charisma, that's favor. And favor can't be inherited, it must be assigned. So now they're confused, wondering why the influence isn't sticking, why people smile but don't stay, why the glow is dimming even though they're winning. It's because the reward wasn't enough. The seed came without the oil. And without the oil, everything becomes effort. Everything becomes work. They're grinding to maintain what came naturally to you because what they gained was position, but not purpose, applause, but not assignment. And the spiritual realm doesn't lie. It knows when someone is trespassing. That's why their winds feel heavy, why peace escapes them, why doors that once opened now creak and shut. They're holding your harvest without your preparation. They skipped the fire that purified you, skipped the pain that matured you, skipped the silence that trained you. And now they're feeling the weight of something they were never anointed to carry. Let them have it. Let them keep the seat. Because favor follows authenticity, not imitation. You don't have to fight to get back what was yours, you just have to rise. And as you do, what's truly yours will make its way back, refined, multiplied, undeniable. And what they took will turn into a burden too heavy to bear. Because the kingdom never honors theft. It honors truth. And truth always knows where to return. Number 12. They thought God was silent, but he was building receipts. They assumed that because nothing happened right away, they got away with it. That heaven was asleep. That the silence meant approval, or worse, indifference. They mistook divine patience for absence. But what they didn't realize is that God doesn't move on impulse. He moves with evidence. And while they were mocking, manipulating, and maneuvering, the delay wasn't weakness. It was strategy. It was documentation. Every lie, every move done in secret, every word spoken to destroy your name. It was all being recorded, not for revenge, but for justice. God wasn't ignoring it. He was letting it pile up. They thought you... I mean, just what kind of people take stuff from people and then laugh at them as they're... I mean, what kind of evil is this? Double for my trouble. And when I get back what belongs to me, you guys think I'm gonna be thinking about these people laughing somewhere? No, I'm gonna actually forget that they ever existed. I don't have time to be thinking about people that don't matter to me. But at the same time, the only thing that makes me angry is I don't understand how people could be so evil. How can you take something from somebody and then laugh at them? Like, how can you hate somebody that much that's done nothing to you and laugh at them from behind the scenes? So when they get as they're getting their punishment and I'm getting double for my trouble, I'm not gonna be thinking about these people laughing at them. I got better things to do. What kind of people is this, man? It's crazy. We're finished. They thought the doors that slammed in your face were the end of your story. But the truth is, you weren't denied. You were hidden. While they were climbing fast, you were being rooted deep. While they were building platforms, you were being purified. And now, the difference is undeniable. Because what they built through ego and manipulation. Yeah, I only do these for about 15 minutes, guys, because y'all know this shit makes me tired. So we're about to close it out. Is starting to leak. It's subtle at first. Loss of favor, relationships unraveling, opportunities drying up. But it's not random. Got some interference, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop it right here, guys. So I don't know, we might pick this video back up, but I'm ready to move on from this. Yeah, we got a little interference, so I'm just gonna cut it right here, y'all. And I'll holler at y'all later. All right, peace.